First, let's talk about fabric selection. You can use all the same fabric for this headband, or you can do different coordinating ones for an adorable look. Our first step is cutting our fabric into strips. There is an exact length, so just cut along the fat quarter. Just remember that more is better. You don't want to run out of fabric in your strip. The width of the fabric strip depends on the size of flower you want. So take the size you want and divide it in half, and that's the width that you want. My flower is going to be 2.5 inches, so I'm cutting my fabric to 1.25 inches. Double thread your needle and knot your thread. Now take your fabric and we're going to make the first pleat. And how we're going to do this is we're just going to make a fold in the fabric. Now we're not going to fold it all the way to the end, just a little bit before. And make sure that the top is folding as well. Now take your needle and we're going to put it in the corner. You can see that, just in the corner of that fold and that pleat. Pull all the way through and then stitch it down. And that's our first pleat. And then we're just going to keep going. So make your second pleat. And as you're pleating, the fabric will start to curve. And when you're pleating, make sure that you're pleating the top of your fabric as well. And you're just going to continue going until it creates a circle. So now we have enough pleats for a circle. And so we're just going to combine our two ends. And I just put my needle through the end of the fabric. And then I'm going to put it through the end of that fabric. And then just pull it through and then stitch it together a couple times. And then now just cut off the excess fabric that you have here. And then you can also, if you want your fabric to be more flush, you can do a stitch in the top of the fabric as well, and that will just keep it shaped a little bit more. But that is how we make our pleated flowers, and they're super, super cute. Now we're going to build our flower. Now I've decided just to use 3, but you can use as many as you'd like. So make sure you have a felt circle ready. And then I'm just going to put hot glue onto my felt circle around the edges. And then placing my bottom flower on. Now we're going to glue on the second layer. And just make sure that when you're putting it on, it's even on all sides. And then my top layer, I'm going to be glue. Just put a little bit of glue on the flower right here. And now I'm going to glue this one on. Just make sure it's even. Okay, and then when you're done, you can add your center. So I'm just doing this pearl center. Just putting hot glue right on here. And the ribbonretreat.com carries tons of gems for the center of flowers and for bows and lots of bling. So just make sure that that's centered in there, and that finishes your flower. Isn't that gorgeous? I love these pleated flowers. And now all that's left is just adding it to a headband. And so I have my headband here, and you just need 2 felt circles. Turn your flower over, and then we're just gonna glue our headband on like that. So just make a line with your glue, and then place your headband on. And then now we're gonna put hot glue on the other felt circle in the center. And then we're around the edges. And then take your other felt circle and place it on, and that sandwiches the headband in between those felt circles. And that completes our pleated flower headband.